Silence, all stand and remain standing until the conclusion of the reading of the proclamation. Ladies and gentlemen, the proclamation. All persons having any business before this honorable court, please draw nigh. Give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Queen.
Admission of lawyers. Jessica Naima Abdi.
May it please the court, I move that Jessica Naima Abdi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jessica Naima Abdi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chantal Christine Cardona.
May it please the court, I move that Chantal Christine Cardona be admitted as a lawyer.
Let Chantal Christine Cardona be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kieran Gregory Cook.
May it please the court, I move that Kieran Gregory Cook be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kieran Gregory Cook be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Misha Durham Davenport.
May it please the court, I move that my son Misha Durham Davenport be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Misha Durham Davenport be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kerry Lee Eastlake.
May it please the court, I move that Kerry Lee Eastlake be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kerry Lee Eastlake be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tess Elizabeth Eason.
May it please the court, I move that Tess Elizabeth Eason be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tess Elizabeth Eason be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Isaac Fisher.
May it please the court, I move that Isaac Fisher be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Isaac Fisher be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emma Louise Fredrickson.
May it please the court, I move that Emma Louise Fredrickson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emma Louise Fredrickson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Shri Gaikwad.
May it please the court, I move that Shri Gaikwad be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Shri Gaikwad be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jyoti Gare.
May it please the court, I move that Jyoti Gary be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jyoti Gary be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Salim Junior George.
May it please the court, I move that Salim Junior George be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Salim Junior George be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Elizabeth Therese Chantal Grant.
May it please the court, I move that Elizabeth Chantal Grant be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Elizabeth Therese Chantal Grant be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sajini Joanne Guranatni.
May it please the court, I move that Sajini Joan Garantni be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Serene Joanne Garatni be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hannah Marie Jordan.
May it please the court, I move that Hannah Marie Jordan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hannah Marie Jordan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hannon Judy.
May it please the court, I move that Hannon Judy be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hannon Judy be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jack Oliver Carney.
May it please the court, I move that Jack Oliver Carney be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jack Oliver Carney be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ishita Afzana Khan.
May it please the court, I move that Ishita Afzana Khan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ishita Azana Khan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Amy Isabel King.
May it please the court, I move that Amy Isabel King be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Amy Isabel King be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Naga Aditya Konaru.
May it please the court, I move that Naja Aditya Konaru be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nada Adita Konaru be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kamal Kumar.
May it please the court, I move that Kamal Kumar be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kamal Kumar be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Natalia Labank.
May it please the court, I move that Natalia Bank be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Natalia Abank be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Damien Ashwin Lee.
May it please the court, I move that Damien Ashwin Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Damien Ashwin Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alistair Tingwa Lung.
May it please the court, I move that Alistair Tingwa Leung be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alistair Tingwan Yung be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Elisa Liu.
May it please the court, I move that Elisa Liu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Elisa Liu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Odell N. Luong.
May it please the court, I move that Odell N. Luong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Odell N. Leong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Dilshad Mahmood.
May it please the court, I move that Dilshad Mahmood be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Dilshad Mahmood be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Amelia Malone.
May it please the court, I move that Amelia Malone be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Amelia Malone be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Georgia Kate Matthews.
May it please the court, I move that Georgia Kate Matthews be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Georgia Kate Matthews be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Naomi Menon.
This one.
May it please the court, I move that Naomi Menon be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Naomi Menon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emily Kate Moses.
May it please the court, I move that Emily Kate Moses be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emily Kate Moses be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hannah O.
May it please the court, I move that my partner Hannah O be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hannah O be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chikadibia Ophelia Okpala.
May it please the court, I move that Chikadibia Ophelia Okpala be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Shikadebia Opala be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christine Palenzuela.
May it please the court, I move that Christine Palenzuela be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Christine Palenzuela be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hannah Ryu.
May it please the court, I move that Hannah Ryu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hannah Ryu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Brittany Claire Saunders.
May it please the court, I move that Brittany Claire Saunders be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Brittany Claire Saunders be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Minal Selvarapnan.
May it please the court, I move that Minal Selvarapnan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Minal Selvarapnan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rema Joseph Kulia Serrano.
May it please the court, I move that Rama Joseph Kulia Serrano be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kula Serrano be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Saqib Muhammad Shadman.
May it please the court, I move that Saqib Muhammad Shadman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Saqib Muhammad Shadman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samantha Sharp.
May it please the court, I move that Samantha Marie Sharp be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Samantha Marie Sharp be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Corey Ryan Smith.
May it please the court, I move that Corey Ryan Smith be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Corey Ryan Smith be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Shu Hui Tasia Tan.
May it please the court, I move that my sister Shuho
Shuhui Trouser Tan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Brenda Simona Tirani.
May it please the court, I move that Brenda Simona Tirani be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Brenda Simona Tirani be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Anna Tran.
May it please the court, I move that Anna Tran be admitted as a lawyer of the honourable court.
That Anna Tran be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Michaela Jessie Trope.
May it please the court, I move that Michaela Jessie Trope be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Michaela Jessie Trope be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ming Yang.
May it please the court, I move that Ming Yang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Min Yang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ali Chaker.
May it please the court, I move that Ali Chaker be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Ali Chaker be admitted as a lawyer of this court. It'll be necessary now for those applicants whose admission has been moved to stand and remain standing for the purpose of swearing an oath or making a declaration. Please stand as directed by the officiating officer.
So just rows 1 and 2 on my right, could you please stand? Jessica Nima Abdi. Chantal Christine Cardona. Kieran Gregory Cook. Misha Durham Davenport. Carrie Lee Eastlag. Tess Elizabeth Eason. Isaac Fisher. Emma Louise Fredrickson. Sri Gaikwad. Jyoti Gary. Salim Junior George. Elizabeth Therese Chantal Grant. Sajini Joanne Gunaratne. Hannah Marie Jordan. Hannon Judy. Jack Oliver Kearney. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state, according to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Please say, so help me God, or I do. Thank you. Please sit down. And could I have rows 3 and 4 now stand? Thank you. Ishita Afzana Khan. Amy Isabel King. Naga Aditya Konaru. Kamal Kumar. Natalia Labunk. Damien Ashwin Lee. Alistair Tingwa Leung. Elisa Liu. Odell N. Luong. Dilshad Mahmood. Amelia Malone. Georgia Kate Matthews. Naomi Benon. Emily Kate Moses. Hannah O. Chikadibia Ophelia Okpala. Christine Palenzuela. Hannah Ryu. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Please say, so help me God, or I do. Thank you. Please sit down. And could both rows on my left please stand up? Thank you. Brittany Claire Saunders. Manal Selvaratnam. Rema Joseph Kulia Serrano. Sakib Muhammad Shadman. Samantha Marie Sharp. Corey Ryan Smith. Shrihi Tessia Tan. Brenda Simona Tirani. Anna Tran. Michaela Jessie Trope. Ming Yang. Ali Shaker. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Please say, so help me God, or I do. Okay. Please sit down.
Well, now that the formal part of today's proceedings is over, I warmly welcome you all to the Supreme Court of New South Wales. I also welcome all those who are viewing the ceremony on the live stream. I'm Justice Stevenson. I sit in the Equity Division of the Court, and I'm sitting here today to represent the Chief Justice. Present with me on the bench today, to my right is Justice Peden, and to my left is Justice Richmond, both of whom also sit in the Equity Division. And together, we constitute the court that has, in the exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you all to practice. We have done so sitting on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and on behalf of the court, I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Now, to all the new lawyers here today, on behalf of the Chief Justice and on behalf of the court, welcome to the legal profession. Today is a day for celebration. You've all worked very hard to get here. Countless late nights, no doubt many cups of coffee, obscure problem questions, reading wafer-thin textbooks and statutes, and more cases than you can hope to remember. And for most of you, the journey has been complicated and deeply affected by the extraordinary challenges that the community has been facing over the last few years with the COVID pandemic, which has no doubt deprived you of many of the opportunities to mix with your peers that would usually be present. So you have together faced and come through adversity unprecedented in our lifetime. In being admitted as a lawyer of the court, you join an ancient profession. The custom of advocates swearing an oath on admission dates back to the 12th century, and indeed in this court, lawyers were first admitted almost 200 years ago in 1824. You have thus now become part of this tradition almost 200 years later, and no doubt for some of you, and perhaps more particularly your family and friends, that must feel how long you feel like you've been studying. For many of you, the support of your family and friends has been invaluable. I take this opportunity to encourage you to thank them and be grateful for the eternal matters of the love and support of friends, family and loved ones. No doubt those who have been supporting you have been, from time to time, the subject of your ever increasingly finely polished skills of argument and persuasion. Depending on how good an advocate you are, it may be that you'll persuade them to shout you dinner tonight. More seriously, the law touches on every part of our society, and it can and will no doubt lead you all in very many different career paths. But whichever direction you choose to follow, you must always remember that the oath or affirmation you've just made is a serious one and will deserve solemn regard throughout your career as a lawyer. Whether you go to the bar, become a lawyer in a firm of solicitors, work in a community practice area, a Crown Law office, you must be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. Admission as a member of this profession is a privilege and not a right, and it's in acknowledgement of that weighty responsibility that we here observe these unique formalities, including the fact that your admission has been moved by someone who's already a member of the profession, and that you've made a formal oath in the presence of your family and peers. They are all a witness to the solemn promises and undertakings you have made today. Now, as to the formality, if you look around you in this room, you'll see portraits on the walls of this court that have people wearing the same robes as have been worn by our predecessors. We wear the same robes as they wear, and often, sometimes, certainly in my case, literally. Symbolically, what that does is to highlight the continuity of the rule of law in New South Wales. In a world where there is so much global uncertainty and insecurity, the rule of law is more important than ever. And it's important for us all to remember it is not a theoretical construct. It is the opposite of arbitrary abuse of power and autocratic dictators and populists. And there's nothing theoretical about that. Although we mark this occasion with formality and the tradition that you can see from the way we're dressed and the way the ceremony is conducted, much in our profession is changing and must change. One immediate and obvious example is the changes that the COVID pandemic has brought upon all of us in the legal profession. Certainly within the court, it has increased our use of virtual technology, and to deal with the challenges that has raised. That, of course, has brought new opportunities. It means, for example, that there's greater workplace flexibility, especially important for lawyers with family responsibilities. Although increased use of technology offers a lot of advantages, the practice of law really has human nature at its core. And I want you all to keep in mind that an essential part of being a good lawyer is to understand people and how they react to different situations and perform under pressure and deal with each other in that way. There are, and there must be, other changes. For example, the legal profession is far more diverse than in the past. It'll be a shock to some of you to hear that originally in New South Wales women weren't prepared to practice. But now things have changed. In 2018, women make up more than half of the solicitors with a practicing certificate in New South Wales, and currently make up around 65% of solicitors under 30. Half the New South Wales magistrates are now women. Women also occupy some of the most senior positions in the law. The Chief Justice of Australia, the Chief Justices of Queensland, Victoria, the Australian Capital Territory, the Commonwealth Attorney General, the President of the Court of Appeal here, who was the former Chief Judge on Equity, are all women. Nonetheless, of the 50 judges on this court, only 11 or so are women, and obviously there's more work to be done there. There is increasing cultural diversity in our profession, and one only has to look at the diversity of the admittees here today to see that things have changed very much since, for example, I was admitted to practice. But one must note that the time has not yet arrived when that diversity is reflected in the composition of the bench, but that is changing. You, as newly admitted lawyers, are in a unique position as you enter a profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are going to have an impact for good. You are being heard and taken seriously as you seek to correct injustices, whether speaking about unfair laws or systemic failings or other matters affecting the most vulnerable in our community. And I wish to encourage you all to speak up for those things and for the matters in which you believe. You're the future of the profession, and you will steer the direction it will take. I also urge you to engage with the communities outside the law. Your training will, as a lawyer, will hopefully instill in you systemic thought and the importance of matters of principle and fundamental fairness, including due process and natural justice, which I hope will equip you very well to service beyond day-to-day legal practice. And you will also derive great satisfaction from that engagement. Now, turning away from matters of opportunity and obligations, can I give you a bit of friendly advice? First, as lawyers, you will often need to make difficult ethical decisions. You must have the tools to think critically. You mustn't compromise those fundamental duties because the people asking your advice appear to want advice of a certain kind. You must not give your client the advice you think they want to hear. That will not be good advice, and that will not be a fulfilment of your duty. As Justice Stephen Gaigler said before he was appointed to the High Court, you must be prepared to give the same answer to the same questions for the same reasons, no matter who asks the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur. That, can I suggest to you, is very good advice. Being a lawyer means you're an advisor, you're a problem solver, you may be a mediator, you may well be an advocate, but as you go about your day-to-day work, remember you're not just dealing with the law, you're dealing with people's lives. Normally, an individual in the need of your services, or a corporation in the need of your services, will do so at a time when they're facing some great challenge. In the case of individuals, that may be a challenge as to their liberty, their property, their personal well-being, or their financial position. So for those reasons, you must always strive to deliver the legal services sensitively, competently, fearlessly, but with courtesy and integrity, and in a way that upholds the dignity of those coming into contact with the legal systems. And we must all, and I include judges in this, listen carefully to those that we come across who have the least power. In that context, can I emphasise the importance of civility? Aspects of the law, especially litigation, can be very confrontational. The practice of law can be stressful and demanding, and you will, no doubt, from time to time, experience combative and aggressive opponents. Can I suggest to you that no resolution of any problem is assisted by rudeness or lack of civility to your colleagues. It is essential that you maintain your detachment, balance and good humour, and remember that you're members of a profession, not a business. And remember this, that the best advocates can and do make their point simply and succinctly. Often less is more. And can I suggest this to you? Always go first and go straight to your best point, if there is one. For a non-lawyer, the law is often incomprehensible. One of your roles is to make the law accessible, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, sometimes by deciphering poor drafting, sometimes by looking at drafting that doesn't seem to speak to the problem that's before you, sometimes both. Try to be clear and concise at all times, both in your writing and your speaking. Now, can I speak to you about failure? You might think that's an odd thing to speak about on an occasion like this where we're celebrating your great success, but we all make mistakes, and you will make mistakes from time to time. It's easy to make mistakes, especially when you're starting something new, as you are. The important things to remember, I think, are to try not to make the same mistake twice. And as an allied proposition, when you do make a mistake, think about it, reflect on it, and try to understand what is needed for you to avoid going into that area again. Finally, your physical and mental health are both extremely important. The practice of law can be overwhelming. You will from time to time be burned out or distressed, and legal practice can be all-consuming and taxing. You must learn to keep your balance, keep an eye out to see that your colleagues are doing the same as well, and as I said earlier, just remember the eternal matters, your family, your friends, your loved ones, and other matters which are even more important than the law. Remember that the law is a highly collegiate profession. You'll make good friends in the law, as I'm sure you have already. And in times of difficulty, the support and friendship of your peers, whether they be colleagues on the floor of barristers, colleagues in a law firm, colleagues in a community legal centre, will prove invaluable. And don't be afraid to seek professional help if you need it. The Law Society and the Bar Association are both fully attuned to the potential stresses of practice. Can I say this to you in closing? The law is a wonderful profession. It's stimulating, it's satisfying, it's challenging, and it's populated mostly by intelligent, committed, and dynamic people. You should be proud to be a lawyer and of your achievements to date. And you should remain proud of being a lawyer. It's a very important profession, and a legal career is one that can take you in many different directions. So hold your heads up high, and all the very best of luck on the exciting journey that lies ahead. On behalf of the Chief Justice and all the judges of the court, I once again congratulate you all on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The court will adjourn.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned. God save the Queen.
Congratulations, everyone, once again.